Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Em. If you don't know, now you know. Hi guys, how are you? How was your week? Who'd you see? What'd you eat? No, that's not how that goes. I think this is like 3 weeks in a row that I haven't remembered how that goes. Who'd you see? What'd you do? Did you eat any good food? Did you eat good food? Literally nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. Anyways, how was your guys' week? We talked about how lifting doesn't make you bulky. Let me just say, uploaded last week's episode and I kind of knew that it was going to piss some people off because I have some people like in my personal life, not that are super close to me, but like, you know, they exist within my circle and they were / are of the mentality that lifting makes you, like, they are part of that conversation. So I knew it was going to piss some people off. I posted the TikTok and I always post a little reel of some clips from that week's episode. And even in the caption, I said that this one was going to make people mad. And let me just tell you, I had some conversations with people this week and people were not happy with me. But I don't really give a shit because I wasn't wrong. I stand by everything I said in that episode. So if you're mad about it, I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, how was your guys' week? I had an okay week. I don't know. It was fine. Nothing super extraordinary happened. I'm recording a couple episodes today, so if I look the exact same as I do next week, that's why. Sorry. If you guys want more, I'm trying to reduce how much I talk about my personal life in the beginning of the podcast. I just feel like it's 10 minutes that some people don't care to hear. Go follow me on my Instagrams if you care about the personal versions of my life. Either EBFit is my gym and fitness wellnessy page, whatever you want to call it, or my personal Emily Brillard. Yeah, that. So I guess we're just gonna get right into it. I saw a TikTok a couple months ago. I don't know. I have a long list in my phone of podcast ideas, topics and people that I want on the podcast, the whole nine. And this has been on that list for probably close to 2 months. I saw a TikTok of this girl talking about how maybe this was quite a few months ago, because it might have been her New Year's goals. I don't know. Anyways, long story short, she was talking about the fact that one of her intentions or goals for the next little bit of her life was to become more teachable and be aware of being more teachable. And the comments were very confused. Nobody in the comments seemed to understand what she meant by being teachable and being intentional with being teachable. So I thought we would just talk about it because I think it is something that's super important that a lot of people don't like. I was watching a couple TikToks and just Googling some stuff to see what other people are saying about this topic. One of the sayings that I found that I thought really pertained to this whole topic is that the ego is the soul's worst enemy. And I thought that made a lot of sense in this whole context of this conversation. So essentially, if you don't know what somebody means or what I mean by saying to be teachable or to try to be more teachable, there's a certain level of ego that exists within a lot of people that does not allow them to understand that they are not the best at everything. In order to continuously grow in your life, whether that's, in school, so in your education, at your job, so your career or your work, whatever, in your fitness, your wellness, health, whatever it is, you have to maintain your beginner openness to information, if that makes sense. So, okay, if somebody has never worked out before ever in their entire life, if they've never seen any content about working out, if they've never stepped foot in a gym, if they are starting at point zero and they consult a trainer or whoever it is, we'll say a personal trainer in this context, there is a sponge, your brain is like a sponge. When you first introduce yourself to a topic or an activity or a hobby or whatever it is, your brain is like a sponge because your current, hyperfixation is on that thing. This is something that happens to me when I want to learn a new hobby. I act like a sponge. I absorb every single piece of information that anybody can provide me about that hobby because I want to know everything all at once. That's what happens for a lot of people when they are a beginner at anything in life. Again, whether that's education or career or sport, regardless, there's just an openness to information and education that beginners have, you know? So in order to continuously grow in life, you never stop learning different things. And people always say they want to be like a lifelong learner. Okay, in order to do that, in order to allow yourself to grow and expand your understanding of different hobbies and topics and whatever else, you have to try and maintain that sponge-like brain that you had in the beginning. You know, you have to try and maintain that openness to whatever people are telling you. There's a big difference between wanting to be the best and wanting to know everything and wanting to continuously learn everything. Those are two very different things. If I want to sit here and say, I want to be the best at XYZ, I want to know every single thing there is to know about this topic or this sport or this workout type or this food, whatever the topic is, I want to be the best. Okay, that's option A. Or I can go with option B and say, I want to learn from the best. I want to gather information from people who are above me. I want to continuously allow myself to learn new things about this topic that interests me. You should pick option B. You should pick the second option. You should never want to be the smartest person in any room that you walk into, or the best person in any room that you walk into. Or like, for example, my dad is insane in the gym. If you don't know him, yeah. And one of the things that every time we get on this topic, he seems so like passionate about it. I should have had him here for this episode. One of the things that he loves to talk about is how he loves walking into a gym and training at a gym where other people are stronger than him, because it's motivation. It's one of those things, like, why would you willingly want to walk into a place where you are the strongest person in that gym? Let's just, like, if we're using the gym as an example, I don't want to be the strongest person in a gym ever. I don't want that. Yes, it's kind of fucking cool to say, like, wow, I am like in the top percentage of who trains here right now, you know? But I would never want to be, not that I'm ever gonna be, but work with me here. I would never want to walk into a gym knowing that there is nobody that's above me. As much as you can say that you're 100% self-motivated and you don't rely on other people to gain motivation, which might be 100% true, but also the environment that you exist in and the environment that you thrive in are two very different things. I could exist in a gym where I am the strongest person there. I'm not going to thrive there. I'm a competitive person, so there's no competition. There's no, like, I can't sit there and watch somebody else move weight that I can't, you know? Anyways, so that's one of the things that my dad always talks about, is the fact that he loves coming to the city. Like, whenever he comes up to see me, he loves training at the gym that I train at, because so many people that train at my gym are insane, you know? And that's how I look at my dad and my brother when I train with them. Like, it is so much fun to train with my family because they're insane, you know? Like, my brother's insane. My dad is insane. I love training with them. And that's what my dad feels when he comes to train here, because there is that motivation of like, hey, you're so fucking jacked, but also there's somebody else that's better. So an important part of becoming or maintaining your ability to be teachable is knowing when to check your pride at the door. If you don't allow yourself to search out smarter or stronger or healthier or more educated people, you are never going to allow yourself to improve in whatever discipline you're wanting to improve in. If I only ever went to a gym that I was the strongest person there, am I going to improve as much as if I go to my current gym where people, again, are insane? No. If I walk into a classroom and I'm the smartest, most educated person there, what am I learning from that room? If I'm walking into a conversation knowing that I am the most educated about whatever the conversation is about, what am I learning from those people? You know, you have to constantly, if you want to be teachable and you want to grow as a person and grow your understanding of whatever it is you want to learn about, you have to allow yourself to search out, like, not even just embrace that other people exist. You have to search out those people. You have to search out the conversations where you are no longer the smartest. You have to search out positions in life where you're not the best. You are not on top. You are not, like, if you're not looking up to anybody, you're doing it wrong. There should always be somebody that exists in your life that for whatever reason you look up to and you aspire to be, and you know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't embrace the education that you already have. Like, I'm not saying that I should just ignore the fact that, or like not be proud of the education or the understanding of something that I already have. But walking around with the mentality of like, oh, I know everything about this topic, it just closes you off to so much new information. You know, I can sit here and be appreciative and be grateful and proud of my education and understanding in like health and fitness and wellness. But if I'm going to sit here and have the audacity to say, well, I know everything, I don't need to listen to somebody else because I already know that, I am like putting up this barricade of, hey, this is my current position and this is as far as I'm ever going to get. Because instead of admitting that I have more to learn or that there is more to this conversation or this topic, I don't want to acknowledge that. So I'm just going to put these walls up right beside me and in front of me and behind me. I'm not allowed to move out of this little box. This is the box that I've put myself in because that's what I've limited myself to with saying, I know everything, I don't need to listen to them, I don't need to hear more, you know? This goes with saying, it is really easy to be teachable when you respect the person and what they do and what they have to say. When you respect somebody or you have, you know, you look up to this person or whatever, it's really easy to be teachable from them and to seek advice and value what they say. But one of the most important things about maintaining your ability to be taught, you have to learn to recognize that everybody has something to teach you, regardless of the level or the like status that they're at in that topic or in that, you know. So if again, we're using the gym for example. People always get mad at me because I use the gym for all of my examples. Guess what? That's what this whole podcast is about. Sorry to break it to you. If I walk into the gym and I see somebody who, let's say, has been training for less time than me, trains differently than me, isn't as quote-unquote strong as me, whatever I want to say, I can still have so many things to learn from that person, just as much as I could learn from the person who, you know, lifts a bajillion pounds and has been training their entire life. Like, as much as I value and respect the things that, for example, my dad has to say when it comes to fitness and wellness, I also have to maintain that respect for somebody who is not in the same position as him, because regardless of the fact that they are not equal in this, people still have something to say. People could be less educated than you about a topic, but maybe they have a better understanding of one specific thing that you don't quite understand. All of their education and understanding is about like this path of this topic. So here's your topic. They have a better understanding of this like little side trail of the topic, whereas I'm over here on the other side with a completely different grasp and understanding of a specific topic. So all that to say, it's important that if you want to be somebody who's teachable and you want to be somebody who, again, spongy, get all of the information, soak it all up, absorb everything that you can from the people that exist within you and with like around you, you have to maintain the respect of people's opinions and education and understanding, regardless of where they fall in your like hierarchy of this topic. You have to ask questions. You have to allow yourself to ask questions, because asking people questions, asking for specific pieces of information will allow you to see growth. Because here's the thing, it is quite literally nobody's responsibility to teach you or to educate you about anything. Ever. It is never, obviously, unless you like, if I'm paying for a university class, yes, it is the responsibility of my professor to teach me. I'm saying in life, if I walk into the gym and I want somebody to show me something, I want somebody, again, say I've never been to the gym before, I want somebody to start training me, that is not their responsibility. That is not an expectation I can hold upon somebody unless I ask. I'm not going to walk into a gym and expect that anybody there provides me with any information or gives me anything, because it's not their responsibility. However, most people, if you go up to them and you ask them a question, they are going to be so willing, especially I find in the gym and like the whole fitness athlete industry, People are so willing and excited to teach other people about the industry. You know, that's my responsibility to ask them questions. If no questions are asked, no answers can be expected. I think that's something that a lot of people get frustrated with, is the fact that information is not just handed to you on a silver platter. It is, again, nobody's responsibility to teach you how to do anything in life. Once you become an adult and once you whatever, like, that expectation, the responsibility of your growth and your, like, expanding your understanding of things, that falls on you. That falls on nobody else but yourself. If you're not getting your shit together and asking questions or asking people or seeking out information, you're never gonna get it, because that's on you. So ask people. I've had so many people that, like, tell me that, oh, I haven't gotten into the gym because I just don't know where to start, and I've never been before, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know whatever. I'm like, okay, then ask somebody. Also, the internet's free. Google it. Go on TikTok, go on YouTube, do whatever. Like, or ask somebody. Don't come to me and complain you're unhealthy, or you don't work out, or you don't eat well, or, you know, you don't do whatever because nobody else has given you that information. Have you ever asked? Have you once sat down with yourself and thought, maybe I should go and ask somebody a question about this, because this is something that I want to do and I don't know where to start? Or are you just sitting there and expecting life to just give you the freebie of, like, here's all of this information, here is all of the cheat codes to something, but you didn't do any of the work, you know? No, you wouldn't fucking expect that. And if you are expecting that, I don't know what to tell you. Get your shit together, because it's not how the life works. That's not how the life works. It's not how the world works. You have to ask questions, and you also have to be willing and accepting of criticism or correction. If somebody offers you correction, embrace it. It's not a bad thing. If the correction comes from somebody's opinion who you value, consider it a good thing to receive those corrections. Like, everything I say, take with a grain of salt. I'm not saying, like, I've had it happen where I'm at the gym and I've had people, I don't want to generalize, but I can generalize. I've had sketchy, creepy men come up to me in the middle of the gym and offered me advice or corrections on form or whatever else that was blatantly incorrect. And the reason that it was being provided to me was because it was a way to speak to me, you know? I'm not saying you have to accept that. I'm not saying that, like, you should let anybody and everybody have an opinion on your life. I'm saying, if it is somebody who, again, you look up to and they are better than you or more educated than you or stronger than you or healthier than you, see it as a good thing. Obviously, as long as it's given in a good way and it's not, like, don't let people be assholes to you and tell you that you're doing everything wrong. Like, don't do that. Grow a backbone. Stick up for yourself. But also, understand that correction is not a bad thing. It's somebody giving you opportunity to, like, hey, here's this tidbit of information that I have that you might not have. I'm giving it to you. Take it and apply it to whatever you're doing. That's not a bad thing. And I don't know why people think it's a bad thing, because it's not a bad thing. One of the hard parts with this also comes with the fact that it's not something that you don't, like, achieve this level of being teachable and then you never have to work on it ever again. Like, unfortunately, this is one of those things you have to work towards this and you have to work on this for your entire life. Understanding that this is something you constantly have to work to and work towards will allow you to make conscious decisions every single day towards being teachable and applying what you're being taught. Because that's the other thing. I can sit here and work towards being teachable all I want. That's not going to make a difference unless I also learn how to apply the things that I'm being taught. If somebody, I don't know, whatever it is, if I learn new information from somebody, but I don't do anything with that, and I don't allow that to grow who I am as a person, why did I go through all of the effort of becoming more teachable and, you know, getting that information? Because now what am I doing with it? If I ask somebody a question in the gym about something they're doing or something I'm doing because I want a better understanding of it, and they tell me, and then I don't actually use it or apply it to any part of my life, and I don't introduce it into my training, whatever else, that's not me saying, you don't have to, like, if I ask somebody a question about how they train in the gym, I don't have to, like, change my whole training routine to be exactly how they train, you know? Sometimes I'm simply asking the question because they train differently than me and I want to understand why they train the way they train. That's totally fine. You're allowed to have individualism in your life. I'm not saying that every single aspect of this person's life, like, you know, I ask them a question, I don't have to embrace every single aspect of that person's life. If I'm asking them a question specifically about, like, hey, am I doing this right? Do you see a problem with how I'm doing this? Is there a better way for me to be doing this? And they tell me, and then I don't apply that correction or that information, why did I even ask? You know, why did I even bother? Because now I've just, I don't know, learned that I'm doing something incorrectly, or that there's a more optimal way or a better way for me to be doing this. And I just choose not, like, I'm just choosing to ignore it. I'm just going to push that to the side, pretend I never heard. Why? What was the point of me ever asking then? Become teachable. It's important. Become teachable, but also learn how to apply what you're being taught to your life. Otherwise, it's just like, why'd you bother? Obviously, there's certain things that doesn't really apply to. You know, if I'm walking into a university class, or I'm taking a course about a specific whatever, information that I learn in that class might not correlate to every single day of my life. You know, like, it might not be something that's applicable to my life at all, and that's fine. But when it is something that can directly improve your life, and you asked the question or you were given a correction, apply it, because that's the other half of this. It doesn't matter that I'm teachable if I can't do anything with it. If I don't know how to apply that, if I don't know how to make corrections in my life, then I really did it for nothing. Like, truly, what is it benefiting me if I'm only doing like half of the job? That's all I have for that. I didn't give you like a step-by-step, here's exactly how to become a teachable person, but you can do that yourself. More so, I want to talk about like why it's important to be teachable and why it's something that a lot of people struggle with. Because let me tell you, there's a lot of people who are not very teachable people and don't like any corrections or any information being given to them, because heaven forbid somebody insinuate that they don't know everything, you know? And that's what I fucking hate. It like, oh, it strikes a nerve when you talk to somebody or you just, you know, have a life experience with them, and it is very clear that they do not give a shit about anything that anybody else has to say, because they think of themselves so highly that heaven forbid somebody else know more than them. And that's just kind of gross, in my opinion. Anyways, that's all I've got for this week. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, guys. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, so I guess here's your Monday mission, your Monday mantra. Here's your goal for the week. Find a topic in your life that you want to learn more about, and find ways to be more teachable when it comes to it. Ask somebody a question about it, or do some research yourself, whatever it is. Find a topic that you want to talk about, or that you, I don't know, whatever it is. Find something this week to learn more about, or to, I don't know, something. That's your goal for the week. Thank you so much for listening this week, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. And yeah, I hope you learned something this week. I hope you educate yourself, or ask somebody questions and allow them to educate you, and then apply it to your life, because that's what fucking matters. So yeah, follow me on Instagram, EBFit, Emily Brilliard. The podcast one is Hey From M. We're on YouTube. I say it every week. I'll continue to say it. Linked in the show notes. There will be a bunch of resources down below about how to become more teachable, or why it's important to be more teachable. We'll chat next time.